Netflix is going around signing deals with multiple people around this Wade Wilson case, but one person in particular that is getting avoided is Wade Wilson's ex-girlfriend Courtney Lozada. Courtney has supported Wade through his trials and tribulations, but as of recently she is going through a change of heart. This interview, Courtney opens up about dating Wade Wilson the same time as Kelly. Courtney also talks about a stabbing case she was involved in, and she talks about her experience with Wade Wilson. Courtney's story has never changed, and please excuse some of the noise in the interview. Thank you for watching the YouTube Streets podcast.
All right, man. Welcome to the YouTube Streets podcast, man. We got a legendary guest right here, right now, Miss Courtney herself, one of the ex-girlfriends of Wade Wilson. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I got DBS here. He's from New York, and we got Griselda over here too as well. She's new to true crime, and yeah, we just want to pick your brain. We kind of want to see where you're at through this whole drama situation. But first, let's get to you. So, who is Courtney? Where are you from?
I'm from Florida.
Okay, so
Miami and Key West.
Oh, you're from the Keys, Miami. Okay, 305. All right. Talk about growing up down there. Like, how was it? You grew up in the trenches or what?
Right now we're going through a hurricane. You live in Florida, so we're going through a hurricane right now. It's always been the same. It's, we live in the Keys, where nobody came down except for on the weekends. And it's a safe place down here. Nothing bad ever happens down here. The cops look for the most that they do is pull people over for DUIs and shit. That nothing exciting ever happens down here.
Yeah, it's party city down there. I mean, you had Jimmy Buffett down there and stuff. I mean, we go down there to fish. I'm from Bradenton, Florida, so the Keys have always been a place where we go down there and fish. And Miami's always been lit, though. Party central, obviously.
Yeah. Key West, too. Key West, this is where people come down here to party. Spring break and all that shit.
Explain your childhood and going into your adolescence.
So when I was younger, my mom, she left when I was a baby. She didn't want kids, so she left me and my two sisters. We grew up with our dad. 4 years old, I got ran over by a truck.
Oh my gosh! What the heck?
It was an accident. It was my dad. It was an accident. I tripped on my shoelace and he didn't see me. I think it was 4 blood transfusions. Growing up, I grew up with my sisters, my dad. My dad was my best friend, my hero. 10 years old, my mom came back, seduced my dad. My dad was madly in love with her. She came back and then she kidnapped us when I was 10 years old. We moved down to the Keys. Started school here. I came down with a thick country accent. People made fun of us all the time. Lost my country accent. There was nothing to do. So 10 years old, we were going around to people's fridges because we lived in a trailer park. It was cheap. It was like $300 a month to live there. So
this wasn't even hood housing. This was just normal rent.
Yeah, it was a gated. It was gated in, so it was nice.
The old block of trailer parks.
Yeah. At 13, my mom left again, and we were partying and drinking and everything, and eventually they called DCF. We went with our grandma. I started running away from there. I got put into programs at 13 years old, lockdown facilities.
That's what my daughter's going through right now. That's wild.
And just, a lot of, I went to foster homes. Basically stayed in the Keys after that. was in a children's shelter till I turned 17. Then my oldest sister adopted me. And yeah, so I grew up down here. When I turned 21, I had my first child. It was a boy. He's 10 now. When he was about 3 is when I met Wade. And I met him because I had moved to West Palm Beach. And I was just bored, so I downloaded POF. And that's when he wrote me. And I was like, there's no way that this guy is real. He looks too good. And so we started talking. We moved over to Snapchat. And then from, like, he sent me, you know, like one of the pictures that was on POF. I'm like, send me a real one. Like, take a picture of you right now. And it turned out to be him. So we would make, you know, we made plans to see each other. He came and he picked me up.
What do you do to make them do a real picture? Do you like make them throw up fingers or something, or like write it on a piece of paper? Like, how do we know?
So you take a picture of yourself instead of just sending it into the chat. Like,
like
you can go from your camera roll and
from the
send
camera.
a picture. Yeah,
Got
he
it.
went and he actually took a picture. And then we, you know, like we would send videos back and forth. And then we, you know, we like would set up a time, like when we would go, like when he would come and pick me up. And he came and he picked me up, and it was a black Chevy Traverse. And we were seeing each other on and off, you know, like, you know, every other day. And then one day my sister goes, your boyfriend has a girlfriend. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, check his Instagram. So I went and I checked his Instagram, and there was a girl, Pinup Princess. And she's like, hey, babe, call me, or some shit like that. And so I asked him, I said, who the fuck is this girl? And he was like, oh, that's just my roommate. And then one day when we were together, and on his phone, it was, I'm pretty sure y'all saw the video of him walking back to the car.
Yeah,
I
seen that video. Yep.
Yeah, okay. He had left his phone in the car, and Kay called. And he gets back in, and I'm like, who's Kay? And he goes, oh, that's my roommate. That's what I told you about. And I was like, okay, she called.
And this is Kelly, right?
Yeah. And after that, she had wrote me, and she was like, have we ever fucked? You know, like how girlfriends do. And I was like, no, he's just my personal trainer. And she goes, and I go, oh, well, is this his girlfriend? And she goes, yeah. And I said, figures. That's a stupid question for you to ask me.
So the tension between you and Kelly has always been there even before this whole thing even happened.
Yes. Now, eventually, we found out she was talking to a detective to get him arrested. And so I told him to send me that and everything that she was writing me, and we sent it to the detective. That's why they dropped her case. And she sent me videos of him having sex with Sarah. And I sent that to the detective too. They were going to get her with harassment, stalking, and video voyeurism.
Yeah, because there's a lot of discrepancy with that detective. They're saying that he definitely lacked judgment and pretty much swept everything under the rug that she was saying. Said there was a lot of things that they didn't even acknowledge that took place.
Well, she said that Kelly was harassing him too, though.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm hearing now. So it's best to hear all sides of the story because a lot of things that we're missing, we're getting now. So
right,
it's a lot clearer.
And I mean, I don't know if y'all have heard Kelly's story, but it changes a lot. She said, oh, I took his backpack into the bathroom and he kicked the door in, but he never hit me. And then, I threw a table at him and I punched him, and he was never physically violent until the day that he left. But then she says that, oh, the only reason why I threw the table at him and punched him is because he threw a candle at me and blah, blah, blah. So her stories change all the time.
Yeah, yours has remained consistent. I will say that. Like, and I know you've gotten a lot of backlash for, everybody's like, oh, and I've been at fault for making the joke too. Courtney only dated him for 2.5 seconds or a week or this or that. So
I
I know
joke
you
about it
said
too.
off
I
and
joke about it
on.
35 minutes.
Right, right. I mean, that's literally like any time your relationship with Wade is talked about, that's how it's mentioned at this point. And I mean, it is what it is. Everybody does it now, right? Even you. But
Yeah.
timeline wise, how long? I mean, like you said, you were off and on, so I understand, but how long were you in communication with him?
So from September is when we started talking. The beginning of like October, we were together.
2018?
Yeah.
Okay, so that falls right in line with the same time that he met Kelly
Yeah.
on Plenty of Fish as well, when he
Yeah.
was living at the halfway house.
And then we broke up in April. So like he came back to be with me in February. From February to April.
Hmm.
And then we broke up because I already aired it out on TikTok, but like it wasn't really relevant to the case, and I didn't want people to view him in a bad light. But it's already out there. He cheated on me with the guy.
Okay.
Is that
Was
Chris?
That's what I was
Yeah,
about to ask.
yeah.
Okay.
And Chris said that he tried to stab him. Said that he stabbed him or something along those lines.
Oh, so he was dominant towards Chris, right? Like Chris was the bottom and Wade was the top.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
Okay.
so he just treated him like a woman then.
yeah. But I mean, even after that, I still remained his friend. We were in contact up until he got arrested, and I heard he got arrested because Kelly wrote me yet again and said he's gone forever. And I was like, "What do you mean?" And they only had him for breaking and entering, and I think like grand theft, and he had a bond. And so I was like, "You're lying. He's not in there for that. He's in there for this." And she was like, "Well, they have to identify the bodies and blah, 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 blah. They're still looking for another woman." And I was like, "How do you know all of this?" Oh,
Yeah,
his dad called
Yeah,
me.
because during the interrogation tape, Mila was getting text messages from Kelly about the victims already, and the cop didn't even know yet.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was gonna mention, because Kelly, I don't feel like Steve would have just called Kelly and told her all these details.
We can ask Papa Steve too if that's true.
why would she be
What?
important enough to be able to do that?
Right. Because he was, I mean, at the time with Mila.
And if you think about it, the amount of time she says she dated him for like 7 to 8 months, but she started dating him in October. He left at the end of November, came back in January, and and then left her, the day of her birthday or the day before her birthday. So that was
Right.
literally like 2-3 months.
So y'all's timeline is basically the same.
Yeah, but I mean, the amount of pictures that she has of him. I mean, pictures don't mean shit. It could have all been taken the same day. But I have months and months and months of messages, phone calls, pictures, phone calls, everything with him.
So
Um,
is this safe to say that Kelly is trying to be like a little vindictive, like and trying to like kind of poke you when it comes to like having the one up, because that's what it seems like.
yeah, yeah, and
Like
I mean, she
like
does
even
hate
now,
me, huh?
I said even now, even after everything's said and done, it seems like she still has this chip on her shoulder.
Yeah, and I mean, if you guys listen to her story time, she never mentions me. She says, "Oh," and then he date. She completely goes over me and mentions the guy. And then when I come out, that's when she starts mentioning me.
Right, because in her storyline, she had him, Sarah had him, she had him, then he left her for
Like
you.
after that, I just I broke up with him because he was supposed to come and see me. I was getting pictures of him and another guy. So you're a liar and you're gay. And that's he was blowing up my phone. Oh, I'm not a liar, I'm not gay, blah 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 blah. I was dating his sister. I'm like, that picture of you two looking at each other, it looks like two lovers looking at each other.
Wow.
So I can't, my psyche can't get my head around it, because from what I heard, he's never dated another man before
I
that.
don't know his past history. I mean, with dating, the only person that I knew was Rosemary and Kelly and Sarah.
Do you think it could have been shards that made him gay? Was he doing any kind of drugs when you were with him?
So when he came to my house, he did have some drugs. And I said, "Listen, there's kids in this house. You cannot bring any drugs in here." And he said, "Okay, can I do this last little bit? And then you can throw the rest." And I was like, "All right." So he did the last little bit, and I literally spun in a circle, and I threw it all. So he wouldn't have been. It's P-Rock in the Keys. So he wouldn't have been able to find anything. And when I did that, he looked at me and he goes, "Thank you." And I said, "You're welcome."
So going up to the murders, so when did you find out about the murders, Courtney?
I believe it was the day, October 7th. I wrote him and I was like, "What the hell happened?" And I
Yeah,
never
that's
heard
the
anything
day
from
of.
him. Yep. And I never heard anything from him. And then I think like the next day or the day after that, she was already on the news, saying that if the cops would have done their job, they could have prevented these murders and blah blah blah. And that's why she was going after the police department.
Okay. I mean, I do stand by if the cops would have done their job, because they could have still held him on the charges that Mila dropped. So in my mind, Lee County is still at fault. Not that he did what he did, in my opinion, but Lee County should have held him on those charges. That's just me, though.
Well, I mean, when I saw Kelly, she was fine. There was no busted lip. She said that oh, he stuck a sock in my mouth. He stuck my leggings in my mouth. He he cut my clothes off and used my clothes to tie me up, and then it was grocery bags. But when she pulled up, she was fully clothed.
Okay.
And there was no bruises or anything. And my story has stayed consistent throughout this entire thing.
I mean, that's where it helps to have both sides of the story, and for you to be able to speak your truth on it.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if y'all have seen the picture. They call me weird and they call me crazy for having pictures from 5 years ago. But there's literally, I sent it to, your name's Dylan, right?
Yeah.
I
It's
sent
literally
him.
called an iPhone, and it stores all of our photos. I don't know why they would think that's weird, but go
Right.
ahead.
Yeah. Well, I sent him a picture that someone sent me on TikTok, and it's literally Kelly bent over having sex with Wade.
Oh yeah, I seen that. I'm not gonna drop that, but I'm glad you mentioned it. I showed it
I
to
saw it.
Griselda. Yeah,
And
Griselda
I
seen it.
went to that TikTok, and you said you're not dropping it?
Uh, I don't know. I don't think we should, because it's like revenge porn.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna are you gonna edit this part out?
No, we'll keep it in here. We're being authentic.
Oh, I
DBS,
found
I
it on
respect.
TikTok.
Hey, I respectfully. Oh, for real. Oh yeah, that's right. It's on TikTok.
Yeah,
That's
no,
right.
it's on TikTok. It's still there. I found it. I'm not saying where, but I found it. Like, it's come across my own feed.
And
And
she sells her OnlyFans as if Wade Wilson is like the man that's still in it right now. Like,
Yes.
she doesn't even have men that go to her OnlyFans. Y'all know that, right? It's all women.
yeah,
Oh,
because
I
they're
don't know.
looking for videos. Literally on a Reddit, people were saying um, that there's a video.
And then she posted a couple days ago, let's see how many of them purchase until they find the famous Wade Wilson.
I think that's just so that she can make some money off of it, because all
Right.
her OnlyFans is free.
Right. And then it's pay-per-view for like a 30-second video. It's $15. Not
Yeah,
that I'm out here purchasing anything like that, but like that seemed a lot to me. I don't know what the going rate is, but 30 seconds for $15?
Well, she looks better on her OnlyFans than she did on the JD Delay interview. I will say that.
Yeah.
She definitely cleaned up good for her OnlyFans. I still think that she is a victim. Just the only reason why is because the case that he got found not guilty is very similar to the Kelly. Everything lines up with that. But you said that you seen her. She was not frantic. She was just wanting way to get back in the car, and she didn't have nothing in her mouth. So, and you've had the same
Okay.
consistent story.
Yeah, she was fine.
Um,
And if something did happen, I wouldn't have stood by him.
well, yeah, I mean, if I had seen somebody's girl sitting right there and he's about to come with me and she's beaten and battered, I would be like, whoa, I don't know if I trust you to like come with me now. Like that little light bulb would go off.
Yeah, and like literally her face was fine. Then she sent me pictures of like her lip busted, a small bruise on her chin, um, and that was it. Then, a few days later, she posted a picture and she was fine. She cut her hair, she dyed it brown, she took her piercings out, um, and there was nothing wrong with her. And I also have the picture of that.
Oh,
Um,
Courtney coming with receipts. Girl, I
I
thought I was bad about receipts.
I have everything from 2018 to 2019. I have all of that.
The
Right.
reason that
I
everyone
do too, though.
has this hate for you is because you're giving a positive story of Wade Wilson. You had a positive experience with it, and they can't fathom it. They want you to come out and just bash him, bash him, bash him. Now
Right.
we do know recently you've had some recent interactions with him, but let's start from the beginning when he got locked up. Did you try to communicate with him in Lee County? Why haven't we heard a Courtney call?
Because I was in a relationship after
Good
that.
answer. Good
Okay.
answer.
I
Look,
I
look
got
at
with
you.
my children's father, and I did want to reach out because that's a sucky situation to be in. I did send a couple of letters. Maybe I put it in wrong, but they always sent it back. So I was just like, fuck it. I'm just, gonna keep going.
Everything
Um,
happens for a reason.
yeah, and then just recently, I didn't even know he was famous.
Right,
That's
because to
how
you
like
it's local.
yeah. So like I didn't even know that he was on TikTok or anything or YouTube or anything. What happened is my niece who met him sent me when Diane's son was testifying,
Wow.
and and I was like, oh my god, that's him. And I found like a Rosemary was posting like from one of the from Dawn Powell recently. She was one of the ones who had a Facebook page.
Yes, she just
Um,
came, like she started spilling some beans.
yeah, for my number, and I sent him my number, and he immediately called me. And they're not sexual. They're just me being a friend.
Oh, so
So
there is
your
calls.
calls are recent.
Yes.
Okay. Um, with smart communications, because you had said that you had reached out to, like, whenever he first got arrested, to be like, what the heck is going on, right? But he didn't accept you then? It just kind of sat there? That's what you had said?
No, it came when he first got arrested. I sent letters,
Gotcha. Okay.
and they got
Okay.
sent back. I mean, maybe I didn't fill them out right or whatever, but they always got sent back.
Right. I'm sure a lot of girls have gotten their stuff back because you have to address it right. If you forget his inmate number, it doesn't come, like, they're real particular about it.
Yeah. So, but then whenever in July, um, whenever I sent him a request, it was accepted almost immediately.
Okay.
And I was a little braggy about it. I was like, "Huh, I got accepted, bitches."
Was that because I found your account around when you had your appendix taken out?
Yes,
That was around then?
it was. It was before then
Okay. Okay.
because I
I'm
got my
just making
appendix.
a timeline in my head, that's all.
Yeah, I got my appendix taken out around the end of July,
Okay.
and I was in there till like I think it was like the 30th or the 31st. And then I was in there like in the beginning of August. When I went to go write him, they told me they told me they told me that he couldn't, I was blocked until September 6th.
And that
So
was everybody.
no, they started picking them off one by one.
Okay. So the phone thing, it makes me curious because if we go back to whenever Jessie did that interview with Strange Embers, she's like, yeah, they started blocking our phones, but we figured out a way around that. So I wonder if that had part to do with him losing his communications too.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Wow.
But they started blocking off people little by little by little because eventually, people were in my lives talking about, yeah, I just talked to him, and then they'd come back a couple days later and, oh, my communication's cut off.
Well, I'm sure they
So
had to go through so many.
yeah, and the funny thing about that Strange Embers podcast is, the reason why they're only doing depositions is because my friend Tam was the one who gave them the little breadcrumb that the judge knew Eric's mom's
Right.
judge's wife knew
Conflict
Eric's
of
mom.
interest. Yep. Yep. I
Right.
heard
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah, and then there's
Is
still
that true though? Is that true?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
It
shoot.
really does make it a conflict of interest though, because I mean, they can't really look at everybody's extended friend group, right? I'm just curious. I don't know how that part of it works.
Well, his wife knew Eric's mom,
Right.
and Eric was the one who Wade worked for down here in Marathon.
Correct.
And also friends with Mila, Tommy, his whole
That
friend group
whole,
up
yeah.
there. So Wade requested for him to, recuse himself, and he refused 3 times. And he said, "Oh, I don't think it would be an issue. It's okay. It's okay." And so he stayed on as the judge. One day when he was walking back in court, his lawyer's mic was on, and they said, "This is his last hurrah before he disappears."
We know how public defenders go, but he fired like three different lawyers
One
before
one
getting
one
the set that
passed
he
away.
has. Oh, okay. Missed that one.
Yeah, one passed away. So I had wrote him, I think, like 4 times before he even wrote me back. But the first thing that he wrote me back was, hey, listen, the Funley isn't a fraud, or some shit like that. And I was like, I never said it was a fraud. And then he started, just, text, like writing me every day, and, because he needed something, and he needed me to make Jesse look good.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that the picture that I posted where he was like, "Oh, don't say anything badly at all, and if you don't fix this by today, I won't be happy." And I told him, I was like, "Excuse me." Like I don't remember everything that I wrote in that one, but the next one, I told him, fuck off, fuck Jesse, and fuck your team. Fuck them. They haven't done shit for you. They've gone live 3 times. I went live every fucking day pushing that funding, pushing the petitions, pushing everything. Your girlfriend didn't do shit for you, and people won't like to say that I'm jealous. Jealous of what? A man that's in prison?
Yeah, I said that before. I want to say this though. What I want to get to the psyche of why, like, why are you helping Wade? Do you think he's innocent?
Up until phone calls from prison dropped the confession that I was listening to it on a FaceTime call with my friend Tiff. And I was listening to it and I started to cry because it's terrible. And that phone call is damning. But I do honestly believe that his lawyers didn't try. And I don't believe in the death penalty. So that's another reason why I'm also fighting. I believe he deserves a fair trial, but I also don't believe in the death penalty. So I don't. Wade was my friend,
Right,
and
you personally knew him before this. It's not like the girls that are swooning over him on the internet that didn't know him.
exactly, yeah. So I don't want him to die. I had Steve on my lives before, and I asked him, and I started to tear up. I was like, "But Steve, I have a question. You don't think that he's afraid to die? Like that's scary." And he goes, "Are you afraid to die?" And I'm like, "Of course." And he goes, "Okay, so then he is too, but he's not doing this because he's afraid to die. He's doing this because he wants to be free and he wants to continue doing his drugs and doing everything." And that may be true, but still at the end of the day, he's my friend. Yeah, I'm pissed off at him right now. But he's my friend and I don't want to see him die.
If Wade Wilson had this funding money out on the outside, he would already be dead because that's just how he OD'd in prison and they saved
Yeah.
his life or jail. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I believe that 100%. Um, I just after that, I just want him to have a fair trial. Um, Even if he is guilty or not, he still deserves a fair trial. Honestly, I don't think that Steve said that they heard the phone calls and that they heard the confession. So that's partly why they did give him the death penalty, but also um, two of those jury members couldn't even speak English, and
Yeah,
that's
Would
a
I'm
that
fact.
help him though?
I'm just trying to get. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to get a better understanding. What is it that you think that is unfair, and what is it about the trial that you saw was unfit?
Well, his lawyers falling asleep. They didn't even fight for him, and at the end, his lawyer even said, "Yeah, he's guilty."
So I've been in trials before. I've been in a lot of different situations. I was on trial for murder and all that. Um, listen, if it comes down to it, and you confess to what it is that's been done, the lawyers are gonna say, "Yo, this is an open shut case. There's nothing I could do for you, kid. Like, what do you want me? Like, there's not much that can be taken, into accountability other than you're gonna get what you deserve. You know what I mean? He did admit to what he did. You know what I mean? So, and what he did was pretty gruesome, under the influence or not. You know what I mean? It's pretty scary.
So
But
up
his
until
lawyers
recently,
didn't fight to get him life. They didn't fight like those two charges.
exactly, yeah, they
I
they
will say that. Like,
yeah, And up until recently, you guys, I didn't know that he confessed to the detectives. I had no idea.
That's fair.
And
Yeah.
so that's why, I was fighting so hard. Maybe I should have done more research or whatever, but I was fighting for my friend. And, even though I'm mad at him right now, he's still my friend. And I don't want to see my friend die.
But
Let me
like,
ask
what
you: do
would
you
it?
have Wade tatted on you? Do you have? Let's get to that. Do you have Wade Wilson tatted on you, Courtney?
Fuck no.
All right,
Good.
here we
I got
go.
a meme you can post. Then
So
I made
I
it
got a
last
question
night.
real quick. I just wanna, just get a better understanding. So what would it take for him not to be your friend? Like, what would he have to have done for him not to be a friend?
Um, say something about my children. That's the one thing I don't play with. I love my children with my entire with everything in me. And when people say things about my kids, and I told him this, I said, people have told me that you should have, and I said unalive, but people told me that you should have killed me, that you should kill my kids, that you should run them over till they look like spaghetti, that they wish that he would have strangled me and he would have killed me. And these are the non-supporters. These are the Wade haters. And they tell me this, and I tell them, what makes you any better than him? Wishing death upon me, wishing death upon my innocent babies. And like, I told him all of that, and he understood. But if he would have ever, if he would ever say anything about my children, that would be the end of my rope. It's done with me. But Jesse will fall off because she's not going to wait. Let's say he doesn't get life. Let's say he gets his retrial, whatever, and he doesn't get life or he doesn't get the DP. He's still going to have to serve time for smuggling in drugs and for trying to escape. And then
Right.
right now, this shit with
Listen,
Jesse.
Courtney. He's cooked either way, man. It's over. He's done. It's a wrap. Hang trial, mistrial. He's admitted to this more than one occasions, and like, I get it. He's trying to get a technicality or a loophole just to hold on, but this dude is done. They're going to put. They're going to give him a hot shot, and they're going to put him down like a bad habit. This is not. This is not. Let me see if I can get more years. And when it's time, it's going to be time. I don't think nothing's going to save Wade Wilson.
Oh no, and that's why I said if. That's why I said if. I heard the confession, and I honestly I didn't know about it, and I do hate that he's possibly gonna die. You know.
Have you put yourself in a position of, these women's, well, especially Diane's son? Like, this dude, he went through college. You know what I'm saying? His mother just got killed by, Wade, and he's got to live a hard time now too. Now, suppose that was a different scenario, and you were Diane. Like, you ever thought about it like that?
I did, and I've talked to Melissa, her friend, and I have told her, I'm so sorry for what happened to your friend. And up until, like I said, up until the phone calls, I believed the story that Jesse spun, and it's not too far off because just recently there was 5 human traffickers in the Keys that were arrested. And so I was like, oh shit, he was telling the truth. So it's not too far off to believe, and we have a Discord. I don't really use it because I don't know how the fuck to use Discord, but we have files of a lot of like holes in the trial, um, uh, links between Sandra Stillwell and a bunch of people, and things about Mila, about Tommy. There was a video that Tommy said he would put a bullet in Wade's head if he would ever walk out.
Right. I clipped
Just
that. I remember that.
I mean, that's easy
just
to say. This dude's gonna be locked up for the rest of his life. It's tough guy talk.
Tommy didn't want to smoke with Wade. Let's get to the facts. Wade had a knife on the other side of that door. He was gonna buck 50 Tommy.
Yeah, but then, and I've caught, I've caught them in lies. Tommy came onto my live, said that he was gonna fight him, and then the next day that they talked it out, and he was like, "I'm sorry, Tommy," and I guess he was like more like a big brother father figure because Tommy's older, and he was looking for acceptance within Tommy, and when
I
he
could see that being
disappointed him,
an angle.
he was like, "I'm so sorry." They went, they hung out after that. Then Mila went on live and said that they were never friends after that. So there was a whole bunch of lies within that. And I did say, oh, what did Wade ever do to his dad to make him hate him? I've talked to Steve. He's always been respectful. I was just talking my shit. I have a lot of respect for Steve. It must have been very hard to do that to your own child. And I've calmed down a lot from when I started. When I started, I was fucking reckless.
You and Kelly both were going off on each other, though. There was, and let's get to the racism around the case. So, there's a text message with Kelly allegedly that has some racist content. And another thing too, there was a dating site where it showed Wade Wilson put in the bio white women only, and you're not all the way white, right? You're half
I'm
Hispanic.
I'm Cuban Mexican.
Okay, Cuban. Okay, so is that true? What was your perception of him and the racism aspect?
He definitely wasn't racist. I mean, I speak Spanish. I was, I told him I'm Cuban Mexican, and he was like, "I like that shit." He's like, "You're a firecracker," So he wasn't racist to me at any point in time. When he lived down here with me, we went to Winn-Dixie, and he was talking with the black chick that worked at the customer service office, and they were caking it up like they were best friends. So I never saw him, turn his nose up to anyone of a different race. Never
Is,
saw him look at them different.
is that Kelly text message real?
Yes.
So she said the ER word, DBS. You're not gonna like that, bro.
Hard R.
Yeah. With the hard R.
Oh, we're on the
He said
subject. I'm sorry.
you fucked a N word with a hard R word. That he fucked he fucked
Yeah,
a
yeah.
girl like that, and then and I was like, "Oh,
That's
so
Lee
you're
County for you.
racist?" And she goes, "Yep, and so is he." And I can send you guys a screen recording of it because it got taken down off of TikTok. That's why
Right.
my original count is like just sitting there. Because if I get one more, it's gone.
Yeah,
So I
definitely
guess
send
he
me
was like,
stuff. Yep.
she busted the fact that he had slept with a black woman.
Huh?
She was disgusted that the fact that he slept with a black woman. She was turned off by that. So that's
Yeah.
like she she
She brought
she.
up Unforgiven, DBS. She was like, "How are you gonna go back to prison when you blink the, what she's
Oh,
what she
she's
said."
like one of those neo girls, those neo-Nazi girls,
Yeah.
those punk girls, the ones that wear the chokers and stuff with the
Mm.
ring on it.
Mm-hmm. She
Oh,
has pictures of her in full BDSM, like a
oh
leather
yeah, no, they get
suit
super
and
racist.
shit.
They get vile. They're like spittings and stuff, and all kinds of degrading. They're wild. Yeah, no, yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
That's what Wade liked too, DBS.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. Obviously, they found each other. He might not have been on the, but he's got swastikas now. I don't know. What do
That's
you
what I
think that?
wanted to ask next.
What do you think that's about? What do
He
you think
had
that's
the
about?
big one on his head when I
That
met
was my
him.
question.
I told
Okay.
you, DBS. That was from his previous stint. He was
Yeah.
already in Unforgiven, and he left on good terms too. I think, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure, yeah, because I mean, if he didn't, he would probably be dead.
Yeah,
He got out, and I guess he left on good terms. And he was like, like I was sitting on the side of him, and I was like, "What is that?" And I leaned forward to like move his hair, and he like pulled back, and he was like, "Don't." And I was like, "What is it?" And he was like, "I'm not proud of it." And I was like, "I won't judge you." And then he showed it to me, and I was like, "Okay, why?"
hmm.
And then he told me that he was in prison.
And they forced
And I
him to do
know
that,
whites
or
have
that
to
was
stick with
willingly.
whites. I'm
Okay.
Not in
sorry.
Florida. All right, so not in Florida, but he did that more connections of trying to get more drugs. Because Unforgiven are they're known for having a real good connect on drugs. Some people call them junkies. I'm not calling them that.
No, I heard, yeah, a
Well,
lot of them are druggies, man. They're just motivated by
Like
greed to make
he
shit happen for the drugs.
like Courtney, he could have ran Neutron. He didn't have to go that way. It's not West Coast. This is Florida.
Yeah, no, you don't have to be in Florida.
Yeah, like in New York State, that's not like there's no such thing as
I'll reference it. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
Nazis or any kind of whatever those racial segregation gangs are. We don't have that in New York State. We got correction officers that are really the racist ones, rednecks, good old farm boys that didn't have an industry, so the government gave them one. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah, that's wild. From what I understand, they don't have segregation down in Florida like that either.
A good example is a YouTuber by the name of Smoked a Neutron. He could have ran with the Bloods. He could have went anywhere he wanted because white people do. You got 1090 Jake. Obviously, he's been on the podcast. They go towards he went towards a Blood. Now, Wade Wilson didn't have to become an Unforgiven. He chose that. He probably met some guys that were friends with, and he went from there. And they helped him out. There's connections. He said he was an enforcer too. So enforcers are getting a lot of perks.
So let me
yeah,
tell you this.
because he's a big guy.
So you got to remember, he can land into a spot where they could have some of those people that are affiliated with that organization, and it might be drunts, but they're the only ones repping and they're the only ones staying together because there's a type, there's a mentality and a gravity pull towards each other because they're all like minded. So fucking Wade Wilson comes in and he's supposed to be a part of this thing. He's gonna have clear range and overpowering everybody that's there because one of his size and all that gifted gab shit he's got or weird shit, and nobody's gonna test him because from what I understand, that those guys are like rejects, bro. Like they huddle together to keep warm type shit.
Now I heard 6'4", 6'2". What is his actual height?
6'5".
No shit.
Yeah,
6'5".
he's a big guy. He's big.
That's
He's
like
really big.
gigantic.
Yeah, I got a dude in my building. He's fucking 7 foot. He gives me a complex when I'm around him.
Yeah, he was. I'm 5'3", so he was a whole foot and 2 inches taller than me. Or wait, yeah, 2 inches. Sorry, a whole foot and 2 inches taller than me.
Jeez.
Okay, so let's get into Jesse now. So Miss Jesse, in your relationship, it started off as she was a different name. Recently she did apologize for that. I don't know if you've seen that.
It's a bullshit fucking apology.
Okay, so you still feel a type of way about Jesse and the Funley and her relationship with Wade.
Yes, because when I first met her, she was Marie, and then she came into my home. She said it was for her friend.
Yeah, this is fucking wild. This story you got, this is some real CIA secret ops shit. This broad is fucking sneaky.
She drove 6 hours to my house.
Dedicated.
With a ring light and her phone set up and everything. Like, it took 4 hours for us to do the whole thing for like a 30-minute video, or not even like 10-minute. And
did she compensate you at all? Like, or was it just
no, it was free. I've never been paid for anything.
okay?
I've never been offered money. I've never been offered to, I'll pay you to do this or anything. Like, I'm not getting paid for this either. Like, I'm not looking for
You
for
should get paid
fame.
from Netflix, and if they might not do it because of I think your situation is
Yeah, they don't want
it's
to hear that.
they don't want to mess with because the victims, bro. At the end of the day, this actually goes against like their argument. You know what I mean? The narrative. Yes,
It goes
exactly.
against narrative. And it's
Yeah,
not
and
really a narrative, it's facts, but it's also a narrative with the facts.
While we're bringing that up, there's been a text message that goes around saying that you admitted, like it's supposedly a text message from you saying that he did choke you one time. Is that real?
No, because
It's
if you look
fake.
at my page, there I have 1,000 followers, and I'm following 1,000. On that page, it did use my kids' pictures, and it used my picture, but there is 1,000 followers, and that's it. I can even show you a screenshot where it says 1,000 followers, and I'm following 1,000 people. And that's not that
Interesting.
it's not that I started recently, adding a bunch of people to make it look real. No, it's been like that for years. I've had that same Facebook for 12 years. And I've had to make it extremely private because people were looking up my name. There is a confidential case
Yes.
against me and Kelly.
Do you have any information on that, or are you not able to speak on that right now?
I haven't. I requested the information yesterday, and it's still pending.
Oh wow.
You should have
So
been served with something, though, right?
I'm guessing. I mean, I've gone down to my mailbox plenty of times. Still haven't received anything
And you said there's cases pending. You said from where do you know? Is it
from Lee
civil? Is it criminal?
from Lee County. I have no idea. I know that the letters in the case number is like at the end. It's like DR for both Kelly and I.
Okay, I looked that up. That's domestic relations.
Yeah, and I've looked it up too. I have no idea what that
I don't
means.
know what that would be. Yeah,
Domestic
no.
relations would be like a domestic. Did you have any kind of domestic dispute with her? Is she filing charges on you? Like, how does that work?
I don't know. I never I didn't dox her. Her picture was already out on the internet. That's how I got her picture.
And we had her name the night before from Kelly sharing the cease and desist.
Yeah. And so, I didn't put her address out there. I didn't put her name out there. I didn't put her number out there. I didn't put anything out there. And I did tell Wade, I said, you need to tell your girlfriend that she needs to come out and she needs to do damage control because I can't do this for her.
Right, because you didn't even know.
Yeah,
Would that
I
be
was
You
as
found
safe?
out the same
blindsided.
time everybody else did.
Hey, Plug, you there? You know anything about the domestic relations out there in Florida when it comes to civil or criminal? Because domestic relations seems vague to me.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I never hit my woman, so I don't have a domestic charge. Is that what you're trying to get to, DBS? What the fuck you talking about?
Hey, listen, man. I don't know where you're going with this, brother. I don't know what kind of skeletons you got in the closet, brother. But
Oh, no,
if
you
you ain't
fuck.
got none, don't worry, man. Don't
Hey,
worry. All I'm asking
it's gonna be interviewing Kristine next. I know it. I know it.
is it a civil or a criminal case when it comes to the domestic
Please.
relations?
It's a civil case. It's not criminal.
All right, so I guess maybe who knows?
Does
Maybe she
doxing
did
fall
file.
under civil or criminal? I mean, I know you didn't, Courtney. I'm not saying that. I'm just like trying to see what ground she thinks she's standing on.
Well, I mean, she filed it the same day for me and Kelly. She filed it on the same day. Hers
Okay.
has DR, mine has DR. Up until 2 days ago, I never said anything bad about Wade. I have trash talked her, but I mean, that's what everyone on the internet is doing. She can't sue everybody. She already tried to sue the Lee County and the DA, and they denied that, and she filed again.
Hey, I really think that she's just pushing paper, man. She's just trying to make people squirm. Um, she really doesn't have any grounds, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know what kind of game she's playing, but I'm pretty sure the clerks and the judges and everybody who's looking at this shit is saying, is this lady out of her goddamn mind? She's not going to be coming to my court fucking around. Denied.
Yeah, and she did another one. I think it was this morning she did one.
Man, she better
Oh, I
relax.
hadn't seen that. I'll have to look.
I know. I don't know if it was this morning. What's today? The 23rd or the 24th?
The 24th.
I believe it was today. That there was another one
Okay.
today.
So you can look that up. Some of the things are locked, but there's one that is open.
Oh, that's the same one.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that's the same. I think that was still the sheriff's department responding with the one that's
but
unlocked.
Wade's name was off the paperwork at that point.
Oh,
And in the time that the money's been taken from the Fundly and all the money's been drained, have you spoken to Wade and asked him what's the deal with that? Like, did she run off, or is that a part of the plan? Like,
So he said that he's already secured a lawyer, Michael Ufferman, that he's a badass, and that he actually said that he has after he got off the phone with me, he was going to call this millionaire who supports him and wants to help him even through all of this. So I went on live and I said, "Don't send him any more money." He said he's got a millionaire that wants to help him. He even said he had another lawyer, a female lawyer, that she's a badass too. Um, and he still owes Michael Ufferman. I mean, I don't know, the invoice that she sent looked fake as fuck.
yes,
But
it did.
supposedly he's Michael Ufferman and he still owes like $65,000 on that one. And then if this other lawyer is a badass, he's still gonna owe money on her. So
Plus, he has restitution fees in Lee County.
yeah,
how
so
much is the restitution? What's that looking like?
65,000?
65,000.
Something like that. It's a high number that he has in just restitution in Lee County.
Wow. So that $300 that they're sending, they're gonna take about 2/3 of that.
Oh,
So
interesting.
they're taking about 200 for their restitution. He's getting about $100 a day. So really, they're just paying. So really, they know what they're doing. So he's getting a third of whatever it is that she's sending. So $300, he'll get 100. The state will get two until they get their money, and then he'll have his money on the side, which will add up to whatever it is that's going to add up to, and then he'll be sitting on a pretty little stack, man.
she had a PayPal for him, and this was recently too. And she was getting money, and she had I guess she still has some of it, and she sends him that sporadically.
But she bought
So
a house too, right? Or that was bullshit.
people are saying that she bought a house, she bought a car, that I don't know. She something about that she was living in her mom's RV in her driveway. I don't know.
You know, there's a
Who
lot of shit going on. There's a lot of things going
who
on
really
out there.
knows what's going on because
Oh man,
Jesse is a liar.
shout out to Plug, man. You did it again.
Plug's
Yeah.
trouble with that car.
Oh man. Uh, I was
Somebody on
going
the
somewhere.
Hey, somebody on the Reddit seen her in another car. Got her in a car though, right, bro? She got a new car.
So is Wade all right with this? He's all right the way that the funds are being allocated. Like he's okay with her getting all this stuff and doing what she's doing. Like this is her payment.
I mean, did you guys see my message that how hard he went for Jesse and his team?
Oh wow.
Because he was going hard for them. Like, I trust my team. I trust Jesse. Blah 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 blah. Um, so he's okay with it. He's going hard for his girlfriend.
I don't trust her. I'm
I
sorry.
don't trust her either. Nobody trusts
At
her.
least to the public. We don't know what's going on them phone calls right now.
I
Well,
mean,
the
there's
And his
scamming, the
something.
messages to
scamming and
her,
jamming,
like,
just scamming and jamming, man. I heard something today where she came out and said, "Yo, listen, we had to say that I was just a representative and I was helping him and I'm a close friend and nothing more." Man, we knew when she was saying all that shit was bullshit. We was talking about shit. We was on a whole bunch of fucking videos we did, but the fact that she came out and said, "Yeah, we are in a relationship," and it was more so for my safety.
Yeah,
No, it was really for you to collect more funds so y'all could ante up. That's what it really was. Like, come on, let's be real. And it seems, people are so wooed by the soft, oh, poor me shit. You know what I mean? And they overlook, like, this chick is a scammer and jammer, man.
yeah. That's
I'm
what
just
people
saying
were
facts. That's
mainly
not
pit.
it's fucking facts.
That's what people were mainly pissed off about is the fact that she was basically pimping her boyfriend out.
They're pimping each other. That's his bottom bitch, and she's working. She's on the stove for daddy.
Yeah, and when he realized, because I told him, I said my voice is loud, louder than Jesse's and louder than most. You don't want to lose me. I promise you that.
Ooh, wow, ultimatums.
And it's true. My voice is a lot louder than Jesse's. That's why he wanted me to do damage control. And I'm not your bitch. I'm not your little bitch. You're not going to tell me to jump and I'm going to say, "How high?" No, fuck you. This is my life. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. And I'm not going to lie to people. I'm not going to tell them, "Oh yeah, go ahead and donate to him and blah blah blah." No, because Jesse's a fucking scammer. People don't want the suits anymore. They want their fucking money back. They donated it because they thought that they were going to get suits, and
Oh,
they
they were
didn't
gonna
get
get cloths,
anything.
pieces of the suit, right? That's pretty hardcore. She kept it for herself.
Yeah,
Weird shit, man. I mean, it's all weird altogether, but come on, man. At least I don't know, man. It's like she got high off her own supply or something. It's crazy.
yeah. And there was something that's going around on TikTok today where he made a statement where I'm a pawn, I'm not a player, da 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 da, and that he wanted to clear up the rumor that him and Jesse are not getting married, that it was a fabricated story and some bullshit. I'll find it and I'll send it to you guys.
I
She probably
actually
wrote it.
shared it, but
Yeah,
I real and I still think that it might be from them, but from one of their like other accounts because the Wilson has two ends.
and I want to clear something up. Nobody got jumped.
No, that's been debunked.
Fucking
Somebody
those
got
bruises were not from somebody getting jumped. The
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 tape
the
around the stitches was days old. Like,
yeah, yeah, we're not stupid. They were doing it to get the heat off of Jesse. Oh, this poor team member got hurt. No, nobody got hurt.
I'm surprised some none of Team Weed's team members have gotten punched in their face yet.
That's what they're saying, and now
they're
Jesse
scared of
is
their
saying,
for their life.
yeah, now Jesse's
No, I'm
saying
just
she's scared for
surprised.
her.
Usually, there's usually counteractions for the actions that people take. There's always somebody else that's against you, and might feel a little bit more, you know, privileged to give you a little bit more than what they're feeling. You know what I mean? Good sock to the face. I mean, I don't know. I'm just, surprised. It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, and people are pissed at Jesse, and they have said, like, you better not leave your house type shit. But nobody really lives in Florida. Lives.
And she's mobile, so it would be hard to fucking find her anyways.
She's in Lake City.
He needs to be careful in that camper trailer this weekend.
She got cans on the camper.
Put some
She's
floats on that thing.
Yeah, so people are mad at her. People are mad at her, but honestly, they just want their money back at the end of the day, and they deserve their money back.
So, do you think there's going to be some sort of actions taken, maybe even criminal
Class
or
action
civil?
lawsuit.
Yeah,
Fuck a class action. There might be some criminal charges filed, man. That's pretty much like
Hey,
a
I
big
heard from a
law.
reliable source that there is some charges coming from for Jesse.
yeah,
Oh, just say.
and there is a page on TikTok that I will give it to you guys, and they're posting shit like RICO charges against Jesse, like
What?
because
Wow.
what she was doing was she was scamming, she was lying, she was doing a whole bunch of other shit. And I'll send you guys the page. I'll send it to you guys. DBS, I don't know what your page is, but you can get it from YouTube Streets or you can get it from Griselda, and
Absolutely.
and and I'll send it to you too, or they can send it to you.
We got it.
But she posts like a bunch of shit, and it's it, it's a lot of true shit. And also the raffles for things, that's online gambling. Unless she has a license for that, that's illegal.
No shit.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on Coral and Dexter?
Well, okay, so there's this girl named Kels, and she came on my live, and she was like, when Coral first started, she had like 2,000 followers. She didn't know the victims' names. Kels had to help her. She
She
was
was
a
Team Wade,
mod.
right?
No. She was against him. She's
Okay.
always been against him. And everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But she, she's, for the victims, and rightfully so. You can do whatever you want. That's your page. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your page. But she was going hard for Kelly, and then, oh, we have proof that Courtney only dated him for a week, and then it was 2 weeks, and then it was 4 days, and then it was a one night stand. And that's where I get the 35 minutes from. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I only dated him for 35 fucking minutes.
How many times
What?
did you have sex with him, Courtney? Let's cut to the chase.
Yeah, I was gonna ask it. I'm sorry.
These boys, they don't hold back. So if you don't feel like answering something, you don't have
I'm
to.
just like, how? You know what I mean? What's
I
going
mean, how
on?
many times have you had sex with your girlfriend? Like, can you give me a
Oh, so you
number?
had one of those.
Oh, so that was a
one of
lot. That's a
those
lot. That's one of
honeymoon
them.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah, one
yeah.
of those
Yeah.
proving points kind of situations.
Over 100, you forget.
Yeah, I know those. I've done those.
Yeah, so we weren't it wasn't, oh, one and done, we were together for a night. No, we were in a relationship. And yeah, I have proof. I have
Definitely a
I
different perspective now.
Yeah, so I mean, Coral can do what she wants on her page. She can talk all, whatever she wants about me, and that's fine. I don't care. Jessie says she has thick skin. I have thick skin. I've been drugged through the mud on Reddit, on TikTok, on
Well, not only
Facebook.
that, I think I like you more so because you've been through the system. You know what I mean? Me too. I went through the system at the age of 5. You know how the shit goes: foster homes, group homes, juvenile detention, and then ultimately fucking corrections. Um, so I get you 150%. So yeah, that shit is. I know you got thick skin. You have to fucking go through all that shit.
Yeah, and honestly, like, it's people on the internet. It's people I'm never gonna see a day in my life.
Yeah.
And whatever they want to say about me, they can say about me.
I need to take
At the end of
pointers
the
from
day,
you, girl.
it's the internet. It's social media. When am I ever gonna see these fucking people? Unless they come down to Key West and we bump into each other at the grocery store.
I wouldn't advise that because Key West has an army base down there, and you will get in trouble if you go. If someone tries to slide, my mom's from Key West. She's right next to me right now.
All four forces: Marines, Army,
Navy, all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, right down the street from my house is the fucking Navy base. So
Yeah,
I
it wouldn't be
mean, yeah.
smart. It wouldn't be smart doing that down there.
Yeah, and if the cops hear about something going like that, they will come in deep. And not just 1, 2 police cars. No, the whole police force will be out here, and the Navy and all of that. They don't. This, I'm telling you, your mom knows this is safe. This is a safe fucking place.
Yeah, that's the safest place in Florida, the Keys. I'm not even lying to y'all. Besides hurricanes, but you already know.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, when I was a jitterbug, Hurricane Charlie really messed y'all up.
Well, I was in.
Jitterbug.
Oh no, Andrew. It was
Can you
Andrew.
explain this to me? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for you Floridians. What the fuck is a jitterbug, bro? Is
I
this a
was
real
asking the
thing?
same
Little
thing.
kid. It's a
It's a
kid.
little kid.
No,
Yeah,
no, no. Is it a real
jit.
bug though? Is there a jitterbug?
No.
So
The
it's just like a
dance where
small
I'm
kid.
from.
They
Like a
say
cheetah is a
jitterbug.
small, and then a bug is like kid, like jitterbug or a small.
Jitterbug is a kid. Jitterbug.
Jits with the shits.
That's what
Oh
it
my
is.
gosh.
That's some
Okay,
Florida shit.
well, out here we call that phase the animalescence.
Yeah, it's jit down here, and the people say like, "Oh, you green," which means like kind of like
Uh,
flaw.
Yeah, so flaw and green. That's why I try to explain to everybody because the rest of the world, with green means new. With us in Florida, green means like, bro, hey, Rob, that boy
Season.
green as fuck, and I know not to fuck a Rob. I know not to fuck a
Really?
Rob. Yes, green
Nah,
is flaw.
you put
Green
me
is
in a
flaw
bad
as fuck.
situation telling me that. These fucking motherfuckers green, man. We gotta get them spiced up. What's up?
No, if they
You know what I mean?
green, they gonna rob you. They green, bro. They shady.
Like, you
Oh,
fuckers are
Florida has its
backwards,
own
man.
language?
Sideways to the left and
Yeah.
all the way to the
The
right.
heck?
Griselda's like, I'm mind blown over here.
I mean, we have our own language too, because I mean, but everything's in literally a whole different language.
Yeah, a lot of lingo came from Florida. Like bet was a Florida thing. Like that,
That's
the whole
not.
Really?
world. Oh
Not.
yeah,
That's
100%. We
not.
were.
That's a
Yes,
New
so
York
yeah,
City thing, bro.
that is not
Stop.
a new. First of all, New York City,
You
y'all
guys
haven't
are
been
like,
hot in
excuse me,
15
behind, bro. You
years,
guys are
homie.
still listening to Wu Tang, bro. You guys got fucking Wu Tang jackets out there, bro.
Y'all
Chill
Hey,
haven't
out,
been
bro.
hot since the "This Is Why I'm Hot" song. This is why I'm hot.
they're still stuck in that.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
And y'all be jacking our shit now, anyways.
But
I
we
don't
just
know
want
it
sunny
until the
weather and
kids
peaceful
start
days.
saying
What
it.
do you mean? That's the only thing we like about Florida.
Dude, you guys talk about Florida all day. You guys are up there, man. I can't wait to retire. Go to Florida. I can't wait to retire. Go to
Soak up
Florida.
some real vitamins, some vitamin D,
I
man.
live where you vacation, biatch.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I tell people that all the time. I vacation. I live where you vacation. And there's a saying down here, come on probation, come on vacation, leave on probation, come back on violation.
That's one hell
God.
of a
Oh
cycle.
no. You know what though? I mean, I've been seeing so many cases come out of Florida lately that I'm like, what is going on over there?
What's in
It's
the
something
water?
in the water.
Something's in the fucking water.
We can't blame it on the Gulf of Mexico, okay?
It's just the melting pot because look, I grew up in Florida, but I'm from South Florida. I got ran out of South Florida because how expensive it got. I had to move to North Florida. Now people are coming all across the world that have money, and they're coming to Florida, and they're flooding it, and it's just all different kinds of people. Like it's just like New. That's why I try to explain to DBS. It's just like New York and Florida now. Like there's not a lot of people that are Floridians. You know what I'm saying? I'm an eighth generation Floridian.
I hear
I
you,
came
man.
from
Soon
Texas.
Florida's gonna be underwater. You'll see.
Oh, you came from Texas.
You know
Yeah.
what? Because you bring that up, I want to ask Wade has a Houston tattoo on his abdomen. Why? Do you know the story behind that? That's
He
always
said
made me curious.
he said he was from Houston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which no, he's not.
Well,
Wild.
he's been in Florida like his whole life, huh?
Yeah, and I mean he did go to Texas, and I'm pretty sure y'all have heard of the lady Mama Hood.
Mm-hmm.
They went to her house. Like, well, they didn't like go there to go to her house. She saw them on the side of the street. It was hot. They were parked, and she passed them. And then on her way back, she saw that they were still there, and she has kids around, around his age at that time. And so she thought to herself, like, what if that was my kid? And so she took them in, and they were, like, oh, we really like it here. We want to get a job here. Blah blah blah. I don't know what ended up happening. I forgot. I remember she said it, but I don't remember what happened. And they ended up coming back this way. And yeah, so they were in Texas, but I don't. It wasn't Houston. He had that shit a long time ago, though. I
Okay.
think
I was
Rosemary
just
said she
curious.
was with him when he got it.
Oh, I was just curious because I knew that he was born and basically raised in Florida. So I was like, why is he repping Houston?
Yeah, that's what he told me. He said, "Oh, yeah, I'm from Houston," and I was like, "Oh my god, me too."
It was a good point for him to bond with you on.
Oh yeah, and I mean, he's like he would talk about Houston. I'm like, well, I don't know. I left there when I was 10.
Right.
I don't really remember much about Houston. But yeah, that's where his tattoo came from. With when he was with Rosemary, I think she said she was from Houston or some shit, but he got it when he was with her.
Okay.
What do you say about Unforgiven? I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, but
He never said anything about that because I don't really understand that gang. I didn't even know about that gang until Tam said something about that, and she was saying something about his tattoo. That his tattoo was that he was being silenced, and that now he wants to speak. So that's kind of what his tattoo represents, the stitches on the mouth.
gotcha. Out of
So it
sight,
was
out of
able
mind too.
to fit the narrative.
Wow, that was far out.
Yeah, so yeah, so that I never really heard about that gang. I knew about like Bloods, Crips, Latin Kings, like I knew like white supremacy gangs, but I didn't know about the Unforgiven until like in August is when I found out. So last month, the beginning of last month.
Me too. Me too. I just found out as well.
Yeah, Latin Kings run down there where you're at, definitely in a lot of the prison systems, according to other prison YouTubers in the genre. But no, yeah, it's interesting because to me, a lot of people are saying that he got the swastika, nothing to do with Unforgiven, and he just started just rolling with him. Because that was a piece that if you look at his head, that piece. I don't know, DBS. You think he can get that piece in prison
Yeah, you
or
can
in?
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get that done in prison. Listen, you can do anything in prison, man.
Well, his
That's
dad
fact.
said he got smashed out of the organization then.
Yeah,
That's how he
they
got his teeth bashed out of his mouth.
no, no. So when he was with Mila, she even said it, like in the phone calls, like we were gonna get your teeth fixed, now you're in there and you look like a hillbilly. So
Oh, how nice.
he was in jail previously and he got jumped in jail. I don't know what he
Oh,
got jumped for, but he got jumped, and that's when his teeth got knocked out. People were saying it was because one of the victims was fighting so hard and kicked him in the mouth. No, that's not true.
yeah, I heard that one as well. That was somewhere on TikTok that I heard that.
Yeah, so
But you're right, Mila does
You
say
said
that.
that too, DBS.
I did not say it. I said I heard it from one of the platforms that I watch. You better watch it, plug.
It's
But
all
in the
good,
I'll tell
brother.
you a
Calm
earlier
down,
scripture
calm down, calm down.
earlier.
Chill, chill.
in the
You're
earlier
showing a
calls,
lot of anger. You're acting like you hurt the panel right now. Chill, chill.
No, no, absolutely not. You better not push that narrative, you weirdo.
he's like the chillest out of all of us. Why do you do that? And then you get him riled up.
He did me. No, listen. Earlier he did me like that. He's like, I don't know what you got in your closet. So I was like, I'm gonna get him back. Watch. I just did too.
No, you
But
did
no,
that,
Mila
yeah.
did say that in the earlier calls. Now that you say that, like that feels like it was years ago that we listened to season one of these calls.
yeah, season 2 is fucking wild.
I can't keep up.
Now, I did not listen to the shit call. I did not listen to it.
No, you were just
Don't
told about it.
don't
I
do it.
remember them
Don't do
telling
it.
you about it in your live, and you were like, "No, I'm not gonna." And then they just kept like telling you different things, and I know that that's where you got the choo 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 from,
Yeah.
because they just kept saying it in your live, and you were like, "Stop, stop! I'm not going to listen with y'all."
Yeah. But yeah, yeah, I did because he
Don't.
pissed me.
And
He's pissed off at me right now. Whatever, so fucking be it. But when Jesse falls back, I'm still gonna be there because he's my friend.
And he was your friend before this happened. So I've never been in your shoes where like I knew the person before and then something happened and I have to make that decision on am I still going to be there for this person even though at this point you've even realized that he did this, right? So I've never been in that place to make that decision. So I can't say what I would do if I would still communicate or not, and that's your decision and yours only.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like like I said, he's my friend. And if he did reach out to me and he said, look, I'm sorry for what I said and everything, I'll still be here because I can only imagine what it's like to be where he's at right now.
I know I would still want somebody to talk to me, and I'm sure everybody would. So, there are gonna have to, not to say there has to be people that, but there are gonna be people that are willing to talk to you no matter what you did.
Yeah, and there's women that are just out there that want him to be free because they want to be with him and because they think he's hot. I I obviously I would like for him to be free, but as well, right now I just want him to have a fair trial, like I said in the
Right.
beginning. Even if he doesn't, get out, if they give him life, I would feel better knowing that he's not going to die by someone else's hands.
Understood.
But I
Understood.
also know that the type of person is he's a soul fly.
Right.
Loves being around people, and if he goes to jail for life, he'll most likely kill himself.
I remember him saying
Because
that to Steve, right?
yeah, because in solitary confinement for the rest of his life.
Right.
Custody.
Well, hopefully, I mean, he does come around to the point where, like, they do, because they change things to where he can be in the day room with other people now. Because you can tell, like, in his calls, especially the more recent ones, whenever he is on suicide watch and stuff, like, it's really getting to him. Like, you can hear it. That he needed to be around people and have more interaction than he was getting.
Yeah, and you could I know him. I know his laughs. I know everything, and you can hear in like some of the calls that his laughs are fake and
When it's
forced.
that real, like, maniacal one, that's the one that, like, you're not sure if it's real or not.
Like you guys have seen the Toodaloo motherfucker video.
Hmm.
That's his real laugh.
Yeah, it's not as loud and ha 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 like he does on some calls.
Yeah. So he's playing a part for these women, and he's just honestly he's just trying to make it through the day and make it through his time there because it sucks. And he told me um when we I think we spoke, it was either in a phone call or on through message, that he was in 23 and 1 for the past 4 years.
Dang.
And he's same thing with now he hasn't been out with the other death row inmates because he's high profile. He told me, he said, I have not been out with any of the other inmates. I made him a friend on death row, the guy who killed the cop when he was 19. That guy has only made like $146 on his Fundly.
Wow.
So he killed a cop. What's the story behind that?
So they called it premeditated because he was 19, and he said, "Oh, if this cop pulls me over, I'm gonna shoot this motherfucker." And he got pulled over, and I guess he shot him, and that's why they called it premeditated murder.
It seems
And
like
him and
Florida
Wade.
likes
My bad.
premeditated. No, you're good. It seems like Florida likes premeditated, like that clause, because that's not the first, like, case that I've come across that seems to happen on an instant and not thoroughly thought out. That's, to me, premeditated is like you sat down and you made a plan.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm gonna go out there, and I'm gonna find so and so, and I'm gonna kill them.
Right,
That's premeditated. Like with Chris Watts.
right,
Chris Watts planned that shit to kill his wife and his daughters so he could be with his mistress.
right. That to me is a premeditated, but I don't know. It just seems like Florida likes that term.
Yeah, because it's easier to uh it's easier to convict someone with that than other things.
Hmm. What were you
And
gonna say, Plug?
I was going to say, oh yeah. So this inmate that you're talking about. So how is him and Wade friends? How are they talking to each other?
so we told him, We told the guy that's on, that's been there, that, to be on the lookout for Wade Wilson, and, just, befriend him, let him know that you know us, and that way he has someone in there, um so that, once, and he's the one who told us that he's in, Wade's in orientation for the 30 days, and then once the 30 days is up, then he'll have a more permanent place, and he'll be like a couple cells down from Wade, and they'll be able to go out, like in the yard with each other, like a couple hours a week or whatever. They'll be able to interact. So we made him a friend.
Could it be a boyfriend though? That you worried?
No.
Yeah. I seen some of the messages recently you had to him. You brought up that boyfriend again to him. How do you take that?
um he said, "Go ahead, air my laundry, stab me in the back some more. uh I'm done with you, this, that, and the other." So he didn't really react to that. I mean, I did ask him in our phone calls. I was like, "People are asking me about Chris," and he goes, "I don't want to talk about that." I said, "Okay," and that was that. I've never pressured him into talking about things that he didn't want to talk about, and I guess that's why he had so much respect for me, because I'm not going to force people into something, into talking about something that they're not comfortable about talking about. If you want to talk about it, you'll tell me when you're ready. If not, then so be it.
Do you think Kelly is a victim?
To be honest, no. Um, I think she's doing it for fame.
Do you think Mila is a victim?
Okay, so here's the problem with that. So she said that he got there around 8:45. She was on the phone call with the cops around like, uh I think it was like 8:45 that he got there. 8:48 she was calling the cops, and then they got there like 5 minutes later. And in that time he had already left. So in those 3 minutes he was able to do all of that. When she passed the cop in the video, her nose wasn't broken, it wasn't swollen, it wasn't bleeding, it wasn't anything. Wade's a big fucking guy, and she looks like she's a small girl. If he would have hit her in her nose, he would have broke her nose. And yeah, they did say, "Oh, you took that punch like a champ," but I mean, maybe he did hit her trying to either get her out of the way because he didn't put the car in park. I don't know. I don't know if she's a victim or not. If she is, then, my bad on my part for speaking about her, but I can't speak on Mila, but I can
What
speak
about
on
Lorenzo?
Kelly.
What about Lorenzo and Mila's spa? You believe the conspiracy around that goes
L-
along with the Jesse
Lorenzo's
organization?
Lorenzo's a sex offender. He cannot
Facts.
own that spa and offer children services. And then
Wow.
there's also the Lauren DeMulo part, where she was either frequented there or she worked there, and she went missing after Wade was in jail.
Mila said she worked at a gas station, but she seemed like she knew a lot about that whole thing, and that was my red flag. But I know that the family of and I don't want to disrespect that family because they don't believe any of this. They think that they haven't seen their daughter or their loved one so long they don't know what happened. But I don't know if and Wade was locked up when she went missing as well.
Yeah.
But that still goes in line with the organization. They could have still been running stuff. I'm not saying there's no sex. We know this in Florida. We know there's children missing every day. We know there's women missing every day, becoming sex traffickers underground and shit.
And I mean, have you heard about all the women that are dying in Fort Myers, a few miles away from Mila Spa.
Okay,
No, but I
so
will look into it.
yeah, definitely.
There was one that was found at David's bridal when I was on live. People are like, "Oh, did you hear the woman that was
I
found
remember that
dead in
one.
front of?" Yeah, and then there was another one that was found dead in the back of a like a truck. There was another one that was found rolled up in carpet underneath the bridge. So there's a lot of women going missing, miles from Mila Spa.
And this is all Fort Myers, Cape Coral.
Yeah,
Lee
Interesting.
County.
yeah. Lee County is fishy.
I'm learning that.
So when you come to Florida, don't go there.
Yeah, I'm skipping right over that, going all the way around it. Like, how do I
Just
tell my
take it the long
GPS
way.
to
Don't go to
not
Polk
go
County
into?
either. Don't go to Polk County. Don't go. But no, the whole organization thing, though. What about there's so much substance evidence leaning towards Wade, but their whole thing is their story is they made Wade. They're not arguing against that Wade didn't do these crimes. They're saying right, not do the crimes, but was there during the crimes because they're saying that it was it was something else, and they wanted him to confess to the murders.
So you're talking about when he did the confession, right?
Yeah. They and that's what Jesse was saying. Jesse laid and Wade laid this all out too. Wade said the same. It's like the same little script they have.
Like a forced confession.
Yeah. So basically, what they were saying was that if he didn't um if he didn't admit to the murders, that they were going to kill his family and they were going to go after everyone he loved. And so he loves his mother and his father and his sisters. So they said that that's why he did that. And then it was an electrical fire from the like hot water heater or something, and his parents' house caught on fire while they were in there. And that was the day that he put in a not guilty plea. Now,
So
I
it was
don't
just
know.
coincidence.
Do you believe in a coincidence like that, though? Like the same day he puts in a guilty plea, his parents' house catches on fire?
Steve said it was electrical, but they also say Steve's part of this plan, so it goes along with what they're saying. I'm not. I'm just. I really think he did it. I obviously seen the evidence, but I'm just doing the strange Embers devil's advocate at this moment. I'm just trying to dig deep of the mind state of it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, when Jessie went on to Strange Embers, she trash talked about me, and she trash talked my friend Tam. Are you part? Wait, are you part of Strange Embers?
Oh
No,
hell no, do we?
Oh,
Nah, we try to. Nah, man, we too street New Age Club, man.
no.
We our own thing.
She's like, wait, am I
They
digging
fell
myself
off.
in a hole?
Hey, listen. They fell off like an old man's dick, bro. Look at their views. They ain't doing shit over there. I don't know what they started reading depositions. No one wants to hear that shit. Yo, you
yeah.
It's
did. Oh,
dispositions,
Yeah, that's
according
wild. Yeah.
to Sparrow. She said dispositions.
oh,
Oh my
Kelly's
god,
mama. That's Kelly's mom with the
That's
eye.
Kelly's
that's
mom, Debbie.
yes.
Yeah,
So that's
expose.
that's Kelly's mom.
Yep.
Yeah, with the eye. Kelly with the eye, not Kelly with the Y.
Nope.
Not
Kelly
your
with the
op.
eye.
Yeah, no. Did you see the thing that I sent you that she mentioned you? She's
Yeah,
like,
she's a
oh,
rat. She's a snitch, bro.
yeah. She was like, the TikTok that wrote me was YouTube streets, and oh, are you Kelly? And I'm gonna expose you. And my friend was reading that. I was like, ooh, screenshot that. Send it to me. Send it to
You
me.
know why? Because earlier in your live, you had said, I only know of one other person and their name's Kelly. So I made a mental note of that name. I was like, okay, Courtney knows of one person. So there's got to be a Kelly somewhere. And we were just picking on that live. We didn't
We
know who Kelly
fishing.
was at that
She
point.
she unlocked herself, man.
Yeah, and I wasn't 100% sure, that there was a Kelly on the team, but I knew it was Kelly with an I because someone said that Kelly with an I's call was coming out.
Oh, damn. See, I remember you saying that's where I got the Kelly with an I from.
Yeah. So it was okay. So I got a mole too that told me that it was coming out, and I was fishing with it, but just trying to see what would happen. She ended that live and went straight to the court. It looks like.
Yeah.
Right. Made that statement right then and there.
She
And
must have been
there's
super
another
happy.
person and their name was redacted from all the paperwork and stuff.
I think it was the
Really?
exact same thing. And one copy, A wasn't redacted, B was.
And
So
I
who
think
was it?
my friend has the screenshots of it. So if you guys don't have it and you want it, I can get it.
We
Absolutely.
appreciate it. We thank you so much for being here too. We're not worried about that at all. That got denied. We're not worried about Jesse. We're not worried about any of Team Wade. Team Wade isn't Team Wade no more. Everyone's fizzling out.
Oh
Right.
yeah,
So
they're gone. They're supposedly taking a break, but keep supporting him. I think they even said to keep donating.
So I noticed that the Funly was shut down earlier today. And
That happens a
there are
lot.
certain things. Oh, really? I was like, there's
Yeah.
certain things that I check on like every day. One being Lee County arrests now all of a sudden. But
Mhm. Who's that for? KK?
yep.
All right now.
Um, so I checked the Fundly. I'm like, did the funds go up? Did the funds go down? And when I refreshed it today, it was gone. So I was like, screenshot, it's gone. And then it was back up, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, that
never
happens a
mind.
lot. Sometimes if you go in through Safari, it says it's down, but then you go through like regular browsers, it's there. It's weird.
I have a question, Courtney.
Yeah.
Uh, has Wade found a way to get on YouTube or any other apps, TikTok or anything like that? Has
I
he
don't
seen
think
any things
he
that are floating
is.
around and stuff like that?
I mean, he's in, like I said, he's in orientation. I don't think he's going to be able to get a phone right now, but I mean, he could in the future, but I don't think he can get onto YouTube or anything like that. I think it's, like movies and stuff on his tablet. He's got a TV um that he flexed, oh, I can watch it 24/7, so he's on his tablet 24/7 and um he can write after 11. It's not like they cut it off or whatever. I don't know how true that is.
Hmm.
I know that you guys heard that her saying that she wants his login so she can see all the bitches he's talking to. I don't know if that was for Smart Inmate or Securus. People are calling Securus and saying, oh, that nobody can get on there.
I don't
But
know if you
Yeah, I don't
heard.
believe you can. I think that's specifically signed into that tablet, connected to the
Yeah.
kiosk, connected to whatever other data server they have. That is going to be like a blockage of any. Nobody ever is going to be, if he's the only one in the
It's super
facility.
secure.
Yeah, you can't pass your login information to somebody and be like, hey, log in to my. No, you have to be in the facility to catch the Wi-Fi that connects it. Like it's a very intricate process.
yeah, so I mean, even when he sent me like a message that was like, "Hey, Wade Wilson here," blah blah blah, blah, and I could send you guys that message too if you'd like. Everyone was saying, "Oh, that's Jesse, that's Jesse, that's Jesse." I ended up, I told her that it got reported on my page, but I took it down because if there is like a RICO charge that's going to go against Miss Jessie, I don't want any part of it. I'm not going to
Yeah, cut
jail
off
for none of
ties.
that.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna take mine down too now that you say that. Thank you. Because that's how it got out that, I mean, it didn't take long. Whenever I posted that, people must have went into your live and been like, Griselda wants an interview.
Yeah, I was like, I never heard her say that. They're like, yeah, yeah. And so then I was like, someone fucking invite her in here so she could tell me
That's
herself.
exactly what happened. It couldn't have been but maybe 10 minutes from the time that I had seen your pictures come up on Reddit to me getting someone in my email saying, Courtney wants you in her live right now. I was like, golly, okay. I was like, I'm working, but I can't do an interview right now.
Yeah, and then you told me that you were with YouTube Streets, and I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, yeah, so let's set something up. And then, yeah, so
And
yeah,
we
that's
appreciate it. We really do.
yeah, and you
No,
don't have to
absolutely.
take it off of your page. You can just be like, this is not mine, and like make sure that like,
Right, but I don't want you linked to it at all. Like,
oh, it's
I
out
get
there
that.
though. It's all the way out
I
there.
mean, I grabbed it from Reddit, so you're not lying. I mean, yeah, it's out there. Everybody has it.
Yeah, and I don't want to be connected to that at all. I mean, you could take it down or you can't. I mean,
No, I'm
it's
gonna take
all
it
the way
down
out
just
there.
because I mean I don't want to be responsible. You know.
Yeah,
But that is how
yeah.
I mean within 10 minutes people were like, Courtney wants you in her live.
My last question: Would you sign the Netflix deal?
Yes, but just so that other people that aren't on TikTok and aren't on all of that. I mean, I wouldn't take any cash for it. I just want people to know that, like, he's not the monster that everyone has perceived him to be, that there was also a good side. And his mom did an interview with Jessie, that poor woman, um, and she was just talking about her son, and uh, I would
This
want
is the
people
bio
to.
mom, right?
Yeah, no, no, no. This is the his adoptive mother. When I say
Okay.
mother and father, I mean the people who raised him. And when I'm talking about Steve, I'll say like bio dad,
Yeah,
because
because I could have sworn,
his
I could have sworn I saw a picture on TikTok of something about her meeting up with his bio mom.
no, that's his adoptive mom. That's Candy Wilson,
Short, white lady, kind of
gray
like a,
hair. Yeah,
yeah. Okay, got it. All right.
yeah.
Now
That's Candy.
you've seen Jessie in person. Does
Yes,
that picture reflect what she looks like or is it doctored?
that's what she looks like.
Okay.
Yeah. But if I would sign one, yes. But I don't want money for this. I don't want money for anything. Um. I just would like people to know the person that he was, that he wasn't this monster that, like people say, oh, in the pictures that I have of him, his eyes are soulless. No, he had a lot of light behind his eyes. He's got brown eyes, so you can't see them, but like he wasn't soulless, and he was a good person to me. And that's the only thing that I would want to get out. I'm not looking for fame. I'm not looking for fortune or anything like that. I just want people to know that he's a good person. And that's the person that I knew that was 5 years ago. And he's not the same person now. He's definitely hardened because of what he's had to endure. And I think anybody who's been to jail or prison and have to do long time, like, long bid, uh, it changes you. And it's definitely changed him.
No, absolutely, it definitely does.
But I'm like Kelly. I think Kelly was doing this for to get a Netflix deal or to talk to Bunny or whatever. And I'm not looking for any of that. I don't care. I'm not looking to get famous. And Wade said, oh, I was using him to get famous. First of all, you're not you're not a superstar. You're not an actor or anything. You're not famous. You're infamous, is what someone said.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, it's not gonna last long. It's gonna die out until maybe the appeal. God knows how long that is gonna be. But I keep on thinking to myself, Courtney, right? And I apologize if you take this the wrong way, but do you think that if you would have got past the honeymoon phase, that maybe the relationship that you hold to this high standard might have been a lot different might have took a turn for the worse, because it seems like there's a time limit before he starts to get handsy.
Um, I don't. I mean, I can't speak of what ifs, but I mean, there were points where I was. So I'm Hispanic, so
Mhm.
I got that smart ass mouth,
Yeah, that
and
fire.
I
You got that fire blood. Hmm.
yeah. So I've gotten mouthy with him, and I've argued with him, and the only thing that he would do is he would walk up into my face, and then I would shut up, and then he would kiss me. So he never put his hands on me to shut me up. It was just coming up into my space and then shutting me up with a kiss. That was it. He never put his hands on me. And you can look me up. You can look at the well, my last arrest was a VOP, but the arrest before that was I didn't stab my sister. I cut her. There's a big difference. But it said that I stabbed my sister. So, you know, if I do that to my own family, just imagine what I'll do to someone who wasn't,
I
and
mean,
if
I
they put
get
their
it.
hands on me.
But you got to remember, like, and I keep on thinking in the scenario that you just gave, suppose one of them times you weren't so submissive to the point where you shut up and he gave you a kiss and you decided to get crazy and then it went from a kiss to a headbutt. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. That's what I be thinking, because it's like you caught it right before. You know what I'm saying? How many more times can you play with the lion before you fucking take your hand off? You know what I mean? That's just me though. I've been through a lot, so I'm just thinking like you kind of gracefully bowed out, and you kind of like you dodged a bullet because you never took it there. But let's say you did take it there. Let's say you went past that
She can't speak on that.
respectfully.
She said she
I know what I'm
can't
saying,
speak on the
but
what ifs, so
but I'm
she
just
doesn't.
saying like the what ifs of what he's capable of and what he has done. You know what I'm saying? She knows better than we do. You know, she was there. So what suppose you did take it a step further? Do you still think that it would have just been a kiss and a hug or whatever that was?
I mean, every time after we would fight, he would just be like, he's like, I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to argue. I'm done with arguing. Can we just move past this? And it was just arguments over little things. It wasn't really arguments over big things. And like I said, I never pushed him to do anything that he didn't want to do or say anything that he didn't want to say. So he never showed that side to me. I never saw that side. I never
Got it.
saw him. I never saw the light go out in his eyes and his eyes went completely dark. I never saw that. And I'm not saying it couldn't happen, because like you said, it could have, went from a kiss to a headbutt or whatever, but it never got that far with me.
Yeah, thank God. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people wish death upon me because I spoke my truth, and like 1,000 messages and comments of people wishing death upon me, upon my children, and things like that.
Yeah, that's wild, man. It gets crazy
Kids
like
should
that.
never be brought into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kids are innocent, man. They're definitely, women as well. This is wild for me. This is a whole new realm. But yeah, man, come on. Death threats and wishing ill will upon people like that really don't deserve it. You know what I mean? I get your loyalty and I get your friendship. I mean, sometimes people can be blind with it. I get it. You know what I mean? But I respect it in a sense. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
Yeah, and I just wanted to get my story. I didn't expect it to be this big, and to for I just thought it was just going to be like a quick little story time and boom, be done with it, and people were going to run with it and whatever, but people had questions, and I answered, and from the beginning I was transparent, even when I was at the hospital. And I'm just like Griselda said, she came across my channel when I was in the hospital. I was literally just walking up and down the hallway, and I was talking, and people were asking questions, and I was answering questions. And you know I put myself out there, and I let them know, like, my name is Courtney. I dated him X amount of time. I showed receipts. Um, I showed, like, I told him, people who go to jail aren't bad people, because if people are like, oh, like, well, he's been to jail. I'm like, so I've been to jail. The people were posting, and this is where I draw the line. People were posting Diane's mugshots, and whenever I would come across it, I would be like, "This is not right. Take it down." They even put her son's mugshots up there, and I'm like, "Take that down. That they're victims. Don't do that. She's
Yeah,
not
like
here to defend herself." So people who go to jail are not bad people. We've all made mistakes, and unfortunately sometimes ours are we go to jail, and that doesn't make us bad people. It just means that we fucked up.
That's gonna
And
be Jesse's big reveal to show our mugshots, DBS.
yeah, go ahead, man. I got some
Oh
rough looking
no.
ones. My shit's rough. I
I
I
got
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 one
some
when,
rough ones
oh
too.
man,
Shit.
I got one when one eyeball's bigger than the other.
they caught
Oh
me
yeah,
on the
they're
run.
really gonna get you on that one.
They caught me on the run, man. I was on the run for 2 weeks, man.
Oh my
Ducking,
gosh.
ducking and dodging homicide and gang intelligence. And
Oh my god.
you think I look bad now, plug? Holy shit!
Just living
Wow.
literally on the streets in the
Nah,
woods.
There's
nah.
mine. See, one the
Plug.
right eye is one bigger than the other.
I was
I
not
was not.
expecting that to just pop up.
I was camped out. Ooh, what the fuck is that? Jeez, it looked like it's
Scared of
high blood
roaches.
pressure.
I was on cocaine, definitely, 100%.
He would, he could, the girls would just come to him. They'll
Yeah,
flock
Like
to
you
him.
said, you didn't think he was real the first time you saw his picture.
Yeah. And I mean, y'all have seen my pictures. The picture that y'all have in the back, that's the hardened Wade Wilson. And like I said, I didn't think he was real. My sister called him a unicorn, that he was a mythical creature. You know,
so I
uh,
know somebody that reminds me of Wade Wilson. I was in a union with him. He actually dated the America's Next Top Model, the transgender one. He had put his hands on her. He was a ESU officer. He got fired. They had to let him go because of the whole situation with the America's Next Top Model, the transgender one. When he put his hands on her, they let him go. So he went into the union, and yo, he would be walking the street from jobs, and you know what? Yo, he would bag women by not even saying nothing. Like women would like come up to him and just fall in love. Like he would have a spot every time we went to a job site. He was there and he would spend the night, and we see him on the job site the next morning. I bullshit you not. Big, tall,
Wow.
handsome motherfucker, just like Wade without the tattoos. You look him up, you'll see it. You put it up. The dude slapped up tranny on the fucking American Step Model. Dude was a
yeah.
psychopath, just like fucking Wade Wilson, bro.
And Wade, he's charismatic. He's charming. You know, um,
He was too.
He knows what he's doing.
yeah, yeah, and a lot of women, they don't. The women that are talking to him shouldn't be, oh, she's so fucking disgusting. She's this, she's that. At the end of the day, those calls were private, and they never thought that they would get out. Now Jesse's, I'm all for hers coming out because she's a fucking snake and she's a liar. But those other women, I mean, some of the things that like Kristen said, talking about the victims, that's disgusting, and I have no respect for her for that, because they're victims. You don't talk about a victim. They're not here to defend themselves.
Right.
That's right.
And so some of the things that she said, but at the end of the day, like she knew what she was doing when she put her children on the phone.
Hmm.
She was what she did was disgusting, but these other women, they some of them didn't care that he could have possibly, been, oh, he's not convicted yet, and you know innocent till proven guilty, whatever. And they had phone sex with him, they sent him money, more power to you, whatever. But for them to talk shit about those women, like, I don't think that's right. But for Jesse's, I'm all for hers coming out, because she's not a victim of Wade. Like, she knew what she was doing. She did this whole, oh, we're gonna open up a fundly in this woman's name, but I'm gonna have access to it, and then talking shit about the women that were donating. Like, that's fucked up. And the only reason why she doesn't want more calls released is because there's more to come with Jesse, and it's gonna be worse.
Hmm.
I have a feeling that it's gonna be a lot worse.
I think
And
they're going to be a lot more incriminating than whenever I speculated that they were trying to jailbreak his tablet.
yeah. And also, I think that the reason why Kelly doesn't want hers to come out is because she's married.
Right.
She doesn't want her husband to find out that she was possibly having phone sex with this man.
Right. That is all speculation at this point. We have not heard Kelly's phone calls. If, they do get released. If anybody has seen where I say that isn't infidelity, um, like frowned upon in the military, that is allegedly. Pay attention to where I put the word allegedly, because we do not know.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Everything's alleged, but I believe that that's why Kelly doesn't want her calls to come out.
Right. What my goal is behind this, and people have been like, what are you trying to do? Like, I want to, there is a whole team behind this. It wasn't just Jesse, there was a whole team playing in this, right? I want all of them to be known. That's what my goal is right now. And my other goal is, how many other people have we stopped from communicating with him to get sucked into this? Because if you look at it, in 3 months, 70% of these girls were engaged to this man.
Oh yeah, no, 100% of them.
I want, you're right. I want to be able to say that I've shown you how much of a dirtbag he can be, because this is the game. I'm sorry. This is the game. And I saw somebody say it today. What if whenever Steve said, Wade, you don't have any game, he was like, bet. And now look at us 4 years later.
Yeah, I know that.
But
I
I
think
want
there
to
is.
protect other girls from reaching out to him. I want them to see what he's really doing.
I think that there is an Alexandra in the team,
I've
and
heard that.
a Valerie,
I
and
think I've
there's
heard that.
and they had a chat, and I think her name was like Varek or something. I
Okay.
have the screenshot. I can send that to you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
Because she's got a weird last name too, so it's got her first and last name. So maybe you would be able to find it. I wasn't able
okay.
to, but I could send that to you as well.
I have some people
Um,
that I'm working with that are, look, in my comments, they're like, "Oh my God, you should be a private investigator." I'm like, this isn't just me. I have so many people that are hitting up my inbox every day now, like
yeah.
willing to
So
spill the tea, because everybody feels bamboozled at this point.
yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, I just, like I said in the beginning, I just want him to have a fair trial, a lawyer that's not going to fall asleep, a lawyer that's going to is gonna fight, for him, and at least, fight for
Fight
life.
for
Don't,
lesser charges. Yeah, I
yeah,
get
don't
that.
fight for, don't just give up and let him get the death penalty. Fight for him to get a fair trial. And with that confession, it makes him look guilty. Well, I mean,
Absolutely.
it's a damning piece of evidence,
Right.
but they can at least, just give him, life.
Right. Like he did confess, but then he pled not guilty. So that's where like it falls back on, do we give him life or death too? I feel like, he's saying I didn't do this, or he didn't plead guilty for lesser charge either. I
Yeah,
don't know
and
if
I
they
mean,
gave him a
Florida
plea at
is
all.
Florida's jails are filled with people who give false confessions all the time.
Okay.
Like 75% of them are in jails for false confessions. But even all over the world, false confessions happen all the time.
Right. So that was an easy way to pitch the story.
Yeah, so,
Hmm.
maybe they'll say, okay, the death penalty is too harsh. Let's just give him life. And that will be good enough for me to know that he's not going to die at the hands of someone else. And a lot of the times they don't have the access to the right drugs, so they make concoctions.
Hmm.
And there was someone that posted and said that this is what happens to people on death row, and it was this who he killed someone, and his last words were like, "I'm sorry to the victims' families," and he was supposed to be out, and he was in excruciating pain when he was being put to death.
Right. I mean, I feel like just like any medical procedure, um, there can be a time where it doesn't work properly, as well as it's my understanding that it's like just a citizen that they hire for like $150 to do it, not like a
No shit.
medical professional. Yeah,
Yeah.
So anybody can go in there and do it.
Yep,
yeah, I
you could
think
do it. Like
so.
they could say, "Oh,
Get the
you
fuck
can
out of
find a
here.
vein, you could do it."
Yeah.
Get the
So
fuck out of
sometimes
here.
sometimes the person can't find a vein and then they have to reschedule. Like, because you only have a certain amount of time before, like, oh, there's been guys that survived it and had to go back again and again.
Oh no, that's wild.
Could you imagine? That would
That's
be
wild.
torture.
Now that's torture. You know what I mean? That's hardcore. You know
I
what I
feel
mean?
like if they survive it, just give them life,
I
Yeah.
right?
think what's gonna happen now on death row, eventually when he gets out of this quarantine or orientation, whatever they call it,
Oh,
uh, I really think that within 90 days, there's gonna be a tension that builds up when he starts building these relationships and trying to figure out his place in this intricate
Oh, I gotta
order.
go. I gotta go, guys. But
Gotcha. Gotcha.
thank you for having me on.
Nah,
thank you
thank
for
you.
coming on.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
Bye.
No, no, no worries.
In Missouri, death row inmates are just walking around in general population.
No shit.
Yep. It's not really like a row, They just have a
Well,
death sentence.
I could see that actually working. I could see how that could keep things in order in a sense.
Right. Like they're
No,
at the
no, no.
top of the totem pole.
Yeah, but it all depends on how litty they want to get. You know what I mean? Because at any time, those tigers could strike. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. But I mean, I guess looking at it like that, so could any of the lifers, right?
Yeah, and that's another part of the pecking order. I mean, death row. You listen, and death row against a lifer. Uh, death row, a lifer is gonna be like, yeah, I might fucking get an appeal. They might change the law. Shit,
Right.
fucking, fuck, man. Death row is, yo, I'm done, bro. What's up? You coming with me?
Mm-hmm.
let's go. We go together. Shouldn't make a motherfucker think twice. You know what I mean?
Right. Just
Life or
comparing the
not.
different
Just,
sentences.
oh,
Yeah.
I might still got some chance. There's still some hope with some life. You know, even though it sounds wild, but
No,
there's,
I get exactly what you're saying because it's just like they refer to any, I mean, person with a death sentence is a dead man walking. So that's different than someone with life without parole.
yeah,
Because, like you said, the laws could change. You
yeah, and
committed the crime at 22 years old, and then they change it to where, because I know they have in other states, maybe California, where they change it to under the age of 25 because the frontal lobe isn't fully developed. They can't be sentenced to life or like different things of that
mhm,
sort. So, I mean,
yep.
I don't
You
know.
see, so there's always that little bit of hope for those with life. You know what I mean? Because law can
Right.
change. But like I said, somebody with death row, he wakes up in the morning. Yo, today's the day I want to go. I don't want them to. I don't want to be on their time. I want to be on my time.
Hmm.
And today's the day. What's up?
Right.
And then fucking Joe Schmo, lifer, trying to figure it out. Hoping on a prayer, a dream, and a law, and slips up, says some slick shit because he's used to talking to the other motherfuckers that's going home. He says, "Oh shit," and it's over. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, death row, they're gonna be at the top. They're gonna
The
be the.
pecking order is interesting for sure.
Oh hell yeah, it definitely is.
I'm learning so much with y'all.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I think it's a good thing because I find it interesting because it's something that I have no experience with. All I can tell you is what I've been told or what I've researched, right? Where you
Hmm.
can tell me from an actual, like, personal experience, something that either you've been through or somebody that you know has been through, where mine's literally like, I watched a documentary on Netflix or
Yeah,
like
yeah, okay, sure.
I'm hearing it straight from the tap. Like,
No, yeah, no, absolutely. It's just sometimes I can go because a lot of this stuff is like it's you know to see how your light bulbs are going off and your hamster wheel is that shit is moving. And you're in civilian time. You've never been involved with any of this kind of stuff, and it's like, damn, am I sharing too much? Am I
for
letting
me,
out?
it doesn't matter.
Oh no, not for you. I'm just saying in general. Know, we're broadcasting. We're giving people insight, and sometimes
Right.
I say, was that too much? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It's just you know, the law that I used to live by. So, and I still sort of, in a way, still have those laws, but
Right, because I mean, at the end of the day, that's ingrained in you. That's what built the man that we have today.
yeah,
So, I mean, I'm sure, just like any of us, if you could go back and change it, would you? That's always a tough one for me, but I haven't been in your shoes. I always say that, like, everything that I've been through is what has built me.
yeah, I wouldn't change any of it. All of it was for some reason at the right
Right,
time. So,
right. Because I mean, at like, just like me fighting for like the truth on this and hoping that other girls aren't exposed to Wade Wilson and feel the need to reach out to him. Like that's what my purpose is behind this. You could potentially keep somebody from doing something because you've shared your story.
you're
You just never
absolutely right,
know.
and I've thought about that, and I think I think that's what it really is about. Maybe helping other people see things from a different place. But like I said earlier, sometimes I feel like I give too much. Everybody, have a good night, man. Salute.
Good night.